Good morning, everybody. Crafting Journey here. That Journey chick on Instagram. I've got my green hat for Happy St. Patrick's Day. So I've got my little St. Patrick's earrings here. Now you can barely tell, but there are like little shamrocks on the earrings. Let me see. I'll take one off. I'll show you. Just in case you don't believe me, look. Oh, it doesn't want to. There, see? It's got little shamrocks on it. I don't know where I got those. Super cute costume, obviously. It's not my good diamonds. So, no one can pinch me today, because if they don't happen to see the earrings, they might see the green gnome pants. They can pinch me if they want. They're cute. I'll allow it. But still working on Alice Lost. I opened another section. I added in some pink ABs into the flower here. So cute. So what I've been doing is moving this way. And the way I'm using the modulars is if I've finished that color, but I see more of it in this section, I'll just put it into the modular for when I get to it, rather than, moving all over the section. I want to move, this way. I don't know if that made any sense. Then I have my black off to the side, and then the way I'm keeping track of it is I put them all in, single file here, and then put the container on the top of it. I still haven't, I'm on the fence about whether I'm going to order more or not. But perhaps. Because like there's more of this color, but I only had 3 containers, so I just left it off to the side with the black. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, we're just going to put all that there because I have friend mail. Okay, so Theresa sent me this cute little variety of teas, Herbal Retreat single steeps. So she also sent me this little tea steeper. I don't know what you call it. Tea infuser. So you put, this is loose leaf tea, caffeine free. And you put it into this little steep thing into your cup, and then you let it steep for 5, put hot water in it, you let it steep for 5 minutes, and then you drink it. So last night I had blueberry Merlot, and it was very flavorful. I'm not going to say it's the best thing I ever drank. I don't know. Do people put cream in their tea or milk? Because I'm thinking maybe something to cut the spiciness of it. I don't know. I loved the blueberry part of it, but it had a little bit of a medicinal. I felt like it had a medicinal scent. I don't know. That's just me. But there's other ones I'm going to try. Apricot, amaretto. That's the one I'm going to try tonight. I'm really anxious to see how that tastes. Cherry Cosmo, Mojito, Marmalade, and Kiwi Lime Ginger. So I'm anxious to try each one. And maybe I'll find a favorite, because I got a coupon to order from this company if I like them. So thank you very much, Theresa. Yay! She's such a sweetheart. So the other thing, this is not friend mail. I ordered this. You know, I got my tax return burning a hole in my pocket. Yes. Oh, yeah. Wait till you see what I ordered last night. I have been searching and searching and searching for some furniture for my office. Now, I have a desk, but I had this massive printer. I mean, it's massive. So I've been looking and looking and looking. I looked at Wayfair, I looked at Amazon. I finally found a printer stand that looks fairly nice. That's deep enough. You know, um, typically the printer stands only are 15.7 inches deep. This one is a little bit deeper than that. This thing's huge, just huge. And and it weighs a ton. So I found a really attractive one, that a printer stand for that. And I think with the printer stand and the desk that I already have, then I'm set up as for office wise. And then I ordered this really nice, I don't know what you call it. It's a storage unit, but it's you can actually sit on it. So I could put that in my office, and then if people want to come talk to me, or like Malia or somebody, they can sit on the ottoman, and then I can store stuff inside the ottoman and get rid of a bunch of the boxes that I have in there. I know. I got far afield of what's in this box. You're like, open the box, Rebecca. What? I know. This was killing me last night to not open it, because I have been dying to get one of these forever. And I'll tell you why I never could get one. Of course, it is not going to be easy to open. You're like, you're ruining your scissors. Yeah, I know. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can get it open. That's my exercise for today. Actually, I've already exercised. I had to take all the garbage out. It's Wednesday. Oh, it's wrapped so nicely in all of this paper. What else do we got? We got the invoice. Wait till you see it. Oh my God. It's in here. This big box. This little. Oh my God. Now I got to go back out to the trash and take that out there. This is a Furls Odyssey pen, and it is a 5.5 millimeter. Now, I've wanted one of these forever, and they never had it in 5.5. They always ran out of the more popular sizes, like 5, 5.5, 6. So when I saw it in 5.5 in stock, I'm like, oh, I have to get this. Whoa. This is the pink nickel. Look at this, guys. Oh, could you just die? Oh my God, look at that. Oh, so pretty. Now, the thing I don't like about Furls is they put like this little sticker on there about the size. It's an eye. Now that sticker's not going to stay on there, and then how am I going to know what size it is? Now I can move the sticker down to the end, but I'll just have to remember that I might save the box. That my Furls, oh my God, look here, my Furls is a 5.5. I'm putting that in my pocket because I'm probably going to use that later. And I want to know where it is. Yeah. So, I love Furls. I mean, their crochet hooks are amazing. Now, this was $29. I got it on sale, which you would think is a lot for a crochet hook, but take a look at the other crochet hooks that they have on this site. And I clicked on one that was over $100. I'm like, oh no, way over my budget. But this is a little treat that I got for myself. Now, I have a couple of other Furls hooks that I really love. But yeah, pink, pink. Okay, it's in there. It's in my pocket. Now I got a weird shaped boob. Okay, let me turn the light pad on. So, what national day is it? Well, it's St. Patrick's Day. So, let's talk a little bit about St. Patrick's Day. Got my decaf coffee. Oh my God, yesterday, a little headachy, but not bad. Really, good day. Really good day. No chest pain, very little headache. Um, all in all, a good day. So this is St. Patrick's Day. So the legend has it that this was a priest back in like you know 300 A.D., 3 to 400 A.D., who gave a sermon. He dressed up in green and he used the shamrock to demonstrate the Holy Trinity. Well, there's very little evidence that that's the real story, but I found another story. Um, Let me find it. Yes, there really was a St. Patrick's, and that's why we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. It commemorates the death of St. Patrick. He was a Christian missionary and a bishop and apostle of Ireland, and he dies at Saul, Downpatrick, Ireland. So this guy, he had this crazy life. When he's 16 years old, and he gets kidnapped by Irish pirates, and they make him do like hard labor for 6 years. And he finally escapes and gets on a boat and gets over to Britain. But years later, he went into the ministry, and years later he said, he felt like his call was to go back to Ireland and preach, the gospel. So he goes back to Ireland. Isn't that weird? He was kidnapped by pirates. Um, and really, so St. Patrick's Day in Great Britain and Ireland was sort of a somber, it wasn't like revelry kind of celebration. But, over here in the U.S., we got to do things our own way. So we started having parades and drinking and carrying on for St. Patrick's Day. And the Irish people saw that and they're like, ooh, we like that. So it kind of spread. So that's now how it's celebrated in the countries where it is celebrated. It's not every country that celebrates St. Patrick's Day. Some provinces of Canada, Great Britain, Ireland, Scotland, some other places, but it's not a worldwide. And then there's pockets of where Irish people in different countries that have immigrated that do celebrate it as well. So you're supposed to attend church in the morning. And I see nobody's at church over there. The church is not commemorating St. Patrick's Day, my church over here. It's not my church, it's the church that's in front of my house. Um, Unless the service is later on, like it's early in the morning. So, and then you're supposed to go home and commemorate with food and drink and watch the parade and yeah, blah, blah, blah. Green beer, right? Drink green beer. And the funniest thing about St. Patrick's Day is I don't think I've ever met a person who doesn't have some claim to being Irish. Oh, I'm Irish. I'm part Irish. Um, Frankly, I have no idea if I'm Irish or not. I don't know. My mother always said I was, but who knows? Um, my mother's maiden name was Mountcastle, and they came out of Britain. So, yeah, I'd like to do that ancestry.com thing and see where my roots are. Would you guys like me to do that? Wouldn't that be fun? I think maybe I'll do that. Then I'll find out where my ancestry was. I'm kind of scared to find out where my ancestry was. Speaking of that, I started watching this new show on Netflix last night, where I don't know if I'm going to continue watching it. I don't think it was that great of a show. Let me know if you guys have seen it and you're enjoying it. But this woman starts this company where it's called The One, and it's a matchmaking company. And she claims that you can, if you send in your DNA, she can match you with the one person in the world that is your soulmate. Now, the government is like, oh no, this is not working, and this company is making billions of dollars. Um, but the divorce rate is like skyrocketing because people are getting divorced so they can they're taking this test and finding the one, and they're divorcing the spouse that they married who is not the one. I don't know. It was just weird. I'm not sure I'm going to keep watching that. I also watched last night, to my dismay, The Bachelor, the final episode, and then after the final rose. And I got to tell you, worst ending ever. There is so much. I could do a whole show on my feelings about that, but I don't want to piss anybody off. I don't like when entertainment gets turned into a cultural, racial discussion. That's not why I turned on The Bachelor. I didn't turn it on to watch that. And I don't want to spoil the ending for anybody. If you haven't seen it, good luck. Terrible, terrible ending. I just think they should just don't make The Bachelor anymore. Just stop. I think just make the Bachelorette. In fact, the next 2 seasons are going to be Bachelorette seasons. Just dump The Bachelor. It never works. These guys cannot make up their mind. They're like, oh, look at all the women I get to sleep with. And when they're done, they're out of there. They're like, oh, I have to choose one and get engaged. Nope, not me. It, and I've watched this show for 25 years, and I can tell you historically, it's the bachelorettes that are still married. There's the ones that usually work out, with some exceptions. There are a few exceptions, but most of the time, it's the bachelorettes. Because I think us women are a little bit more realistic about finding our husbands. Who knows? But that whole franchise is just a train wreck. Just a train wreck. All right, let's talk about, because I don't want to talk about that anymore. I went to bed kind of pissed off with the whole thing. Let's talk about judge, jury, and journey. Okay, the George Floyd case pretty much went nowhere yesterday. The defense, they argued a motion to have a prior video of George Floyd brought into the case, and this video, it's a body cam video from a prior arrest, 1 year prior to this arrest, or this event that caused the death of George Floyd. A year prior to that, there was a very strikingly similar event where George Floyd is pulled over. They try to get him out of the car. He swallows some pills real quick. They see that he's done that. They get into the hospital and he survives. Now, the defense is arguing, we're not bringing it in to show that this is what this guy does, that it's his modus operandi. Although I think that's really why they want it in. But to show that, this is what he does. He takes these pills, and, when he's confronted by cops, he takes these pills. their argument in this trial is going to be that George Floyd died of an overdose because this is what he did in this case too. They were trying to restrain him, and he takes a bunch of pills. Um, Now, the autopsy will show that the cause of death was a heart attack. Now, was the heart attack caused by the pills, or was the heart attack caused by Derek Chauvin putting his knee on George Floyd? That is going to be the trial right there. That thing. So anyway, the judge says, no, this film is not coming in. First of all, Derek Chauvin, the police officer, had no way of knowing that this was this guy's modus operandi, and that he was going to take a bunch of pills. And so the defense kept arguing, well, that's not why we wanted to get it in. We wanted to get it in to show that he takes these pills, even though he survived that event. They got him to the hospital, and he survived. So I don't know if he really wants that film in, because, the prosecution could argue, hey, maybe he would have survived this time too if you hadn't put your knee on his neck. I don't know. So they went through jurors fairly quickly, asking them about that $27 million settlement. So today, this morning, they are supposed to have a video conference with, they have 9 jurors total picked out, but 7 of those jurors were picked before it became public knowledge about the $27 million settlement with the city. So they're going to have a video conference with those 7 people this morning, where they will be questioned about their knowledge of the settlement and how will that affect their ability to remain impartial in this case. I don't know. The judge would like to have opening statements start March 29th. That means he's giving the rest of this week and next week to get the rest of the jurors on the panel. So we have 9. The reporters are all saying 14, but I'm very positive I heard the judge say he wanted 16, 4 alternates and not 2. So I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm done with that color. What color should I do now? Let's do some black. Oh no, you know what? Let's do this color here. All right, since we already got it in the tray. I'm cold in here today. I've got the heater on. Where's Jake? Oh man, I want to use my Furls. Yeah. So let's talk about Theresa Sievers' murder trial. So the prosecution rested, and I told you that the defense argued their motion for acquittal. That was denied. Well, the defense put on a case. I had no idea. So the defense puts on, they bring back Curtis Wainwright. They brought back 2 or 3 or 4 witnesses, and I never understood. I couldn't figure out why. I didn't understand the value in bringing them back. I didn't understand what points this defense attorney was trying to make. Because Curtis Wainwright stuck to his story. His story is his story. And we know that, yes, he's a 5-time felon, and he committed a murder, but everything he said is corroborated by circumstantial evidence. It's all corroborated. The fact that he stopped at a rest stop, the fact that he stopped at a gas station, they have it on footage. They stopped at a Walmart, yes, that's on footage. So one of the witnesses that the defense puts on was this highly educated estate planner who was a friend of the sievers, and her testimony was very boring, but cut to the chase what she testified to is the more money a couple makes, the more life insurance they need in case something happens to them, or they have to pay taxes on the estate. They'll have the life insurance money to pay the taxes. Um, so they said the more money you make, the more life insurance that you need. Uh, okay. Um, so that was, I guess, the defense's explanation of why there were all these life insurance policies um, on Theresa Sievers. But I don't, it doesn't, those policies, the existence of those policies and the reasons those policies existed, you know, Curtis Wainwright didn't know that. He was just told by his friend, hey, I've got all this life insurance and I'm going to pay you out of the life insurance. He never said, after we pay our estate taxes, you know. So I really wasn't buying that. So the prosecution puts on its closing argument, and I thought did a bang up job of kind of summarizing what we heard and what the evidence showed. The evidence showed, yes, there was a promise of payment. This these are elements of a conspiracy. That there was a promise of payment. Curtis Wainwright thought he was going to get, $100,000 out of the life insurance once it got paid, and then he was going to pay his buddy Jimmy Ray Rogers, or Jimmy Rogers. I called him Jerry yesterday. I don't know. The fact that they were, given intelligence by Mark Sievers, information that they couldn't have got any other way but through Mark Sievers, like the alarm codes, how to get into the garage, how to open the front door. Now, the defense argued in their closing arguments, well, Curtis Wainwright knew the alarm codes because they were very predictable codes, and he had stayed at their home before when he would come down to fix computers. I don't know about that. More intelligence, like how to get into the house, what door to use, the flight information. Now, Curtis Wainwright said he was confused about when exactly she was going to get home, because the flight information he was giving was he thought it was when the flight landed, but apparently it was when the flight landed plus the commute time home. So he expected that she would arrive home at a certain time based on, he thought the flight was landing at a certain time. So she actually showed up like 20 minutes earlier than they had expected her. But all in all, and the fact that that they're down there on this, they knew that that Mark Sievers was not going to be there. He was going to be in Connecticut with his daughters. His wife would be there alone. Why? How would they know that any other way than Mark Sievers told them that? And then all that information about text messages back and forth on these burner phones, where they were using, even on their regular phones, they would use the code other, and they would put it in a phrase, other, like brother from an other mother, and that would signify that you should go check your burner phone for a message. Well, the prosecution argued, if everything's on the up and up and this is your best friend, and first of all, why do you need a burner phone to communicate with him, and then second of all, why do you need a code? Good point. So, and then the last thing that really stuck with me was, this is Mark Sievers' best friend, Curtis Wainwright. They would communicate on the regular phone, either text or phone calls, almost every day. Now, not every single day, but almost every day. Um, not long conversations, but just, chit chat or, hey, how are you? And um, this was no doubt his closest friend. And, he grew up with him. He went back for his wedding. He was the best man. But he finds out his wife is murdered. He doesn't call his best friend. He doesn't pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Curtis, you know what? My wife. I found out my wife was murdered." Doesn't do that. No phone calls from Mark Sievers to Curtis Wainwright. Curtis finds out. Yeah, I mean, obviously Curtis knew she was dead, but his official notification of the death came from Mark's brother. Mark's brother calls him and say, "Hey, Mark's wife was murdered," and he's like, "Oh my God," pretending shock and awe. Um, but why wouldn't that phone call have been made by your best friend? Very weird. So lots of good arguments, I thought. Um, oh, I have work stuff on my notes. I better take that back in my workroom. So, so now the case goes to the jury. So I will put in a poll, or you can just tell me in the comments, guilty or not guilty of conspiracy to commit murder. Okay, I'm not going to tell you how I'd vote. Well, you could probably guess how I'd vote. I'm just curious how long it takes the jury to come to the same conclusions that I have come to. Um, so anyhow, so the next, we still have like a week and a half of jury selection in the George Floyd case. So I have time for one more trial. Now, I picked a few different ones, and you guys will get to choose. I could do a cold case murder where this woman was murdered in 1979, and it wasn't until recent DNA evidence was obtained from a suspect that they were able to try somebody for this woman's murder. Now, there's another case of a woman who somehow lured her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend somewhere and she killed her. So we could do that trial. And then there's the trial of a police officer who shot a woman. We could listen to that trial. So there's 3 different trials that I could do for you. So which one would you guys like me to do? Now, stayed away from children, babies, that kind of thing, because we don't want to do that anymore. That was not pleasant. So those are the 3 that I could cover in the next week and a half, and you let me know. So tomorrow, Thursday, in the morning show, I'll let you know what the verdict was. I'll let you know how long the jury deliberated in the Theresa Sievers case, and give you a little, background of what's happened since then. Because this case was actually prosecuted a year ago. So this day in history is St. Patrick's Day. So I've already covered that, in the national day it is. So I don't need to go into a separate this day in history today. This day in history, St. Patrick passed away, and now we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. There we go. So tonight, very quickly, tonight is Craft With Me Wednesday. I am going to be doing coloring with my favorite colorist, one of my favorite colorists. I have 2 favorite colorists. Crafting with Christy and Shalene, the Coloring Book Nook. So Shalene, the Coloring Book Nook, will be in my live tonight. We're going to be doing a picture in the Alice in Wonderland book by Fabiano Antonaccio. So I'm going to pick a page and we're going to color tonight. I don't know which page I'm going to do. The one I thought I might do would be the dormouse. There's one of the dormouse in here, which I thought would be super cute to color. Let's see if yeah, see, there's the dormouse right there, right here. So I thought that'd be super cute to color that. Anyway, so tonight, Craft With Me Wednesday, we will be doing coloring and chit chat. I'm gonna catch up with all you guys and see what's been happening in your lives. So please join me tonight. Even if coloring's not your thing, just come. Let's have some conversation. And I'll see you then, or I will see you tomorrow in the morning show. Take care, everybody. Love you all. Happy Thanksgiving.